Our topic today is the intersection of technology and consumer wants and needs. So we're going to look at that intersection. You want to play those trends the right way and hit it right in the meeting point with what technology can deliver today and tomorrow and what the consumer wants today and tomorrow. We're going to look at that. Our flow will be to hear from the researchers first, to get the builders to respond, and then to have some open discussion on the future. Here are the troops. Almost everybody is here in person. So let me walk through the folks. Pete Berkey, no R in the name, but it's there.
That's right.
And Pete is the VP of Innovation and Sustainability at Landsea, and I think you're located nearby here or in
Yes.
Phoenix. Great, and we're excited to have someone who works at a big builder like that and has perfectly appropriate job for what Tech Home Builder is about. Not with us in person, but who will be presenting virtually, recorded, is John Burns, who's a well-known consultant and researcher, John Burns Real Estate Consulting and the New Home Trends Institute. Trevor Buffington is right next to me here on the right. He is a custom home builder based in South Carolina, who's been a regular with us at Tech Home Builder for many years. Justin Foster with Quarterra, which is the new name for Lennar Multifamily Communities.
And Lennar Single Family Rental.
And Lennar Single Family Rental. So Justin's joined us coming from a couple of different perspectives. And then we've got Steve Koenig all the way on the far right. He's the VP of Research with the Consumer Technology Association. That's a former employer of mine many years ago.
That's right, John.
And those are the folks that produce the Consumer Electronics Show and do tons of research at the consumer and industry level, and now partnering with NASDAQ and all sorts of financial folks on tech-based indexes. And then Brad Russell is the VP of Research with Interpret. Interpret has partnered with AE Ventures Tech Home Builder to do some new research focused on the builder community and how you all are approaching tech and looking to take advantage of it. So that's the panel. It's a lot of expertise up here, and we are going to kick it off. If we can, I didn't plan this well.
Like
you should have been here.
It's like the bar slide.
Yeah. Steve, kick us off
Beer
with the
tapper,
research
right.
presentation.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. As John mentioned, Consumer Technology Association is the owner and producer of CES, the world's most influential technology event held each January in Las Vegas, and chances are some of you have attended CES. My point in mentioning that is that's one source of our perspective. The other is also, as John alluded to, is our consumer and industry research, which when it comes to smart home and that sector and many more, spans 20 or 30 years. So for smart home, really the genesis of that market. Tonight, I've just got 3 quick remarks and bullet points to share with you, really looking through the lens of our research, and a bonus takeaway finding pointing to what we're going to expect to see in the future, thinking about innovation and so forth, because I do think that we are at a very interesting inflection point when it comes to smart home. Really the next wave of innovation is here. So what's the first thing? Well, the first thing is that smart home tech is table stakes today. Now, I think if you go back 12, maybe 10 years, you could certainly make the argument that smart home technology was a nice to have. Back then, a lot of those solutions were still, yes, hardwired and featured in new construction, but we know from history that that's also when we started to see a rising tide of DIY solutions that kicked off just a wave of interest and adoption in the consumer market. And I know I'm speaking to a builder community here, but suffice it to say that consumers were very enthusiastic about these technologies. They wanted them, and they may not want to have had to buy a new home to get them. So DIY did a lot for the industry. But more recently, during the season of the pandemic, we noticed several different trends and technology massively accelerate, and smart home was one of those. Now, what am I talking about? Well, really, at the salient of that was perhaps a new category of what we describe now as healthy home technologies. Naturally, people were very interested in maintaining a healthy home environment with smart air filtration systems, touchless faucets, and yeah, let's get a smart doorbell because we're door dashing all the time and having our groceries delivered at the front door. So these statistics on the screen from our latest smart home research and consumer segmentation study really bear testimony to the fact that smart home, is really truly table stakes today. And the second thing is, I think something that just by virtue of your attendance here at the Tech Home Builders Summit, you get that consumers crave a 21st century lifestyle. And this is certainly true for younger digital native consumers, but pretty much everybody these days, and the statistics bear that out. But really, this is certainly true for consumers who are entering into one of the biggest purchase decisions of their life, buying or building a new home. They want a new home that is ready for today's lifestyle, not the lifestyle in 1999. Now, they may want to party like it's 1999, but that's their business, and we endorse that. But for everyday living, they want the convenience that smart home technologies provide, the energy savings. And these data on the screen give us as builders a view to consumers' priorities. So clearly security, energy, this other, if you can't read the fine print, smart appliances, connected sensors for leak detection, these kinds of things. But just notice, it looks like we had a little bit of a glitch with the slide here, but big increases, again, leveling up during that season of the pandemic from 2019 to our most recent work here in 2022. And the third thing is, of course, we just did this consumer segmentation study, so shocker, we found a lot of different segments that are out there in the market. So it does pay, literally and figuratively, to know your buyer. What do we see here? Well, really two key points. One is that those that are not interested in smart home, really only about 1 in 10 out of the US consumer market. So that's a takeaway in and of itself. But if you look at the top two categories, these most zealous and enthusiastic consumers of smart home technology, we're already talking about here 40% of the market. And if you add what we describe as the middle of the pack segment, we're over 3/4 of the market. So chances are your customer is all up in smart home. They're very interested in this, so it pays, again, literally and figuratively, to meet them where they are with a portfolio of solutions that meet their needs. Because chances are they're going to be some of these more enthusiastic folks. And by the way, just one other comment here is that I think just thinking about smart. So about in 2010, with the arrival of the 4G LTE network, mobile broadband, we observed that consumers really started to expect connectivity. And again, this is where we had one of these buzzwords you've heard, the Internet of Things and IoT. Well, that's true back then, but today we have a new IoT. What is that? That's the intelligence of things. People, yes, expect solutions to be connected, but more they expect them to be smart. Why? Because if it's not, they have to work harder, and nobody wants to work harder. We have less time these days, nobody has more time. So what am I really saying? I'm saying that if you believe that home is where the heart is, and that technology is endorsed and loved by consumers, then the future strategy is clear. Yes, tile backsplashes and other upgrades are nice, but technology is foundational. Again, technology is foundational. So what's next? Well, again, looking through the lens of CES, we've seen a lot of innovation, and I think this comes in two parts. Future home, and then this trend, this emerging trend where really the idea of smart home is actually moving beyond the home. And I'm not talking about smart cities, that's an entirely different thing. But there's some interesting opportunities, and within smart home and future home, we're starting to see, and this is this new wave of innovation, actually fixtures and systems within the home become connected and intelligent. What am I talking about? Well, not just smart door locks, but actually smart door systems, like the LG Smart Door that had different bins for home delivery, one of which was chilled, for thinking about grocery delivery. Also, Pella had some smart windows that could be dimmable or tintable depending on requirements, so no more need for blackout shades, these kinds of things. This is what we can expect. And for future communities, pay attention to what's happening with 5G. because the wireless industry is really crossing a threshold now, moving from a consumer market orientation to an enterprise market orientation. And this is all part of the evolution of 5G. And so what I'm saying is industrial IoT, smart factories, smart hospitals, smart farms, these will start to take shape over the next 2 to 3 years. And I think that engenders some really unique opportunities for developers and builders of communities along these lines that we mentioned here of sustainability, security, mobility, these things. So pay attention to what's happening in 5G enterprise. And that concludes my remarks. I look forward to discussing with the panel and with you at the reception. Thank you.